People ask me all the time, man, what's your favorite trailer? I don't have one. And the reason for that is the trailer that you put on this bait, or like I said, a vibrating jig, or a spinnerbait, any skirted bait that you're gonna retrieve through the water column, the trailer that you put on that bait changes that bait. It makes that bait maybe better for a specific situation or worse for a specific situation. So this is a 3/8 ounce swim jig, which is kind of middle of the road. You know, pretty much everybody has a 3/8 ounce swim jig in their boat. And then some people like a quarter better than a half, some people like a half better than a quarter, but a 3/8 is kind of running the mill. You can make this bait fish completely different just based on what type of trailer you put on the bait. And the reason for that is the trailer is what creates the resistance on this bait. So if I want to fish this bait really slow and I want to keep it real high in the water column, I want a trailer that's got a lot of resistance to help lift that bait, to help hold that bait up. And the trailer to me that has the most resistance is going to be a dual pinchered 4-inch craw like this. This is a V&M Wild Craw, but you know, any craw that has 2 pincher appendages that have some meat to them, that's going to provide the most highest amount of resistance as I'm retrieving that bait, and it's going to help hold that bait up in the water column. So that lets me fish the bait slower and shallower. And then everything from here down, I've got them in order, is just kind of a step down progressively. This is a V&M J-Bug. It's also got 2 appendages on it, but the appendages on this are kind of more like a twin-tail grub. You could say this bait's very similar to a twin-tail grub when you put it on the back of a skirted bait. And the fact that these appendages don't have a lot of meat to them. So if I'm using this trailer and I want to speed the bait up a little bit or fish it a little bit deeper, rather than going to a different weight head, I'm just going to go to a different trailer. One step down from that would be a single paddle tail, a relatively small one. This is a 3.8 Jackal rhythm weight. And this bait with its single tail has less resistance than what the craw or the J-Bug does. So it still gives me some action. It's got a swimming motion to it, and it has a little bit of lift, but I can fish the bait at the same speed and get it a little deeper than what I can get it with either of these trailers. So at the total bottom end of the spectrum is just a single split tail trailer. And this is actually a bait that's not designed really to be a trailer. This is a Jackal wag, but it's got a split tail on it, and it's really a bait that they designed to fish Texas rig. But it works incredibly well as a trailer, as will a pork shad or a fluke style bait, anything that's straight. Still has some action there, but it's much less action than what either of these 3 are gonna have, and it allows the bait to run the deepest with the least amount of vibration. So you can keep that in mind when you're picking a jig trailer of any kind, for a bladed jig, a swim jig, a spinnerbait, whatever the case might be. Pick a trailer that suits the environment that you're fishing. Don't have a favorite jig trailer. Use a trailer that works the best for where you're at. I think that the trailer that goes on a jig is so oftentimes overlooked that many of us get wrapped up in trying to get the perfect jig, but we forget about the other half.